So unless you just crawled out from under a rock about 5 seconds before you tapped into this video, you know, like I know, like mostly all of us know or should know, that music has always been an integral part of our lives. More than likely, dating all the way back until we were in the wombs of our mothers, we were getting and listening to music, vibrations, tones, and sounds. We all know. Cleaning the house, mom's singing a song. She might have a song playing that she's listening to that she likes. And she's just humming that song, she's singing that song. And we're in the womb and we getting it right through that umbilical cord. We getting those sounds and those vibrations and those sensations from the music. The drums are playing. We can hear it, we can feel it. If she dances, we dance. If she's singing it out loud, it's getting right through the vibrations of her soul and her spirit, and it's going right into us. So from the actual very beginning, music is us, and we are music.
Have you ever stopped to wonder when we begin to respond to music? It actually begins in the womb. Human responsiveness to music begins in the womb. In the last trimester of fetal life, baby is able to hear external sound. That sound comes through for speech and for music, and they're able to detect the musical elements of both, so much so that they will respond differently to music and stories that they've heard previously than ones that are unfamiliar to them and novel. This implies a memory capacity for the musical elements of speech and for music. In the first years of life, those musical distinctions will allow the child to learn speech and language.
In collusion to what was just previously said, another wonderful thing about music is that it progresses with us as we progress in age. Just like we all start out in what, kindergarten per se, you know, you got, first, let's go back first. Let's go back to when you're an infant. You know, you have a child, you got the little thing, and they're laying in the crib, and you put the little jingles at the top so the baby can look, and it's spinning around, and it's playing the little cling, ding, 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 ding sounds, and the baby's we're smiling, and the baby's just looking up, and I'm saying we like I knew I was a baby when I was a baby, right? But you know, we're just looking up, and it's like we're just into it. It's just the sound, it's the tempo, it's the vibration. Then as we get a little older, 2, 3 years old, well, let's even take it a step further. You still got when you're crying and your mother puts you up against her bosom and she husks, little baby, don't say a word, right? We start there. Then you get to the next stages and you get to like kindergarten or something like that, and then you got the sing-along songs, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's all stay alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, let's do it from where it begins. However you want to do it. You know, music, just to say, has always been there. And then when you get to young teenager, to be a young teenager, that's kind of where you start taking on your own dislikes and likes about what music you listen to after you done heard this and heard that, and grandpa and they're playing that, and mom done played that, dad done played that, your big brother played that, your sister played that. I know that's how it was in my house. I got a different taste of everything musically, and I got the chance to choose what I liked and what I didn't like. And 9 times out of 10, you end up liking everything, but just some you fluctuate more to than others. Then, when you get to adulthood, you're kind of more concrete in what you like and what you don't like, and what you're going to listen to and what you just refuse to listen to or refuse to listen to anymore because maybe mom or pop just literally burnt that song out or burnt that music out. And you took a long trip somewhere and it's like, dude, if I never hear that song again, it'll be too early. And then you get into the stages of what our parents call what? Grown folk music. Grown folk music is when you get there. Wherever there is, when you get to that age that says, now we're listening to Marvin Gaye. Now we're listening to the stylistics. Now we're listening to the whispers. Now we're listening to classical music, and we're listening to just instrumental music, not so much the words and stuff like I would listen to because I'm a big hip hop fan. So that now you're starting to say, okay, That's the grown folk music. So when you walk in, you say, "Hey, mom, what you listening to? That music is garbage." She's looking at you like, "Hey, come here, boy." You know what the problem is? You don't know what grown folk music is. And that's when you get your introduction into where you'll be in about 10 to 15 years when you start listening to that music good enough. Those words will start taking shape in your life because now you're in love with somebody, whether it's your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Now you're in love. So now these songs from the Whispers, the Delphonics, and Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell and all of these people from back in the day, Aretha Franklin, and this grown folk music now is starting to make what? Sense. It's starting to resonate with you. So with that being said, and another thing that I want to mention is that the beauty of music is that there's so many diverse nationalities that play music, that have instruments and sounds that we can all kind of gravitate to and learn from and be a part of. I think that's a beautiful thing that God gave us, to be able to tap into different places of sounds that we've never been. Even if you go to China, their music is not the same as ours. You know, they use sounds and things that, and instruments that we don't necessarily use over here in the western part of the world. And I think that that's also beautiful. And we also learn from one another. We can pick and sample from one another and add this and add that to what we do. That's also a beautiful thing. So music, in a nutshell, has been our family. One of my questions is whether we've actually been a good family member back to the music as it has been for us. We'll travel along with that and we'll find out as we go. So I want to thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate you. And we'll move into the next segment of my point of doing this video, but I want to welcome you all here to my house, which is the Savior Music. Hope you all enjoy what I have to offer. Music station. It's for families, and I want to be a part of your family. I want to be a part of your growth and your sojourn. I want to be a part of your children's lives, to where you can say, man, that guy right there, that guy AOC, Agent of Change, I like that guy because he really has helped me and helped my child and helped my family musically, to give us something that we can all listen to and not have to be afraid about what the song is saying as far as being derogatory in language or defamatory in the way that it's being presented, or in any kind of way. He made it 100% clean. Does that mean it's going to be perfect? No. Does that mean that something I say you aren't gonna like? Of course. But you weigh a man by his works. So if a man is doing a good work, he do a good job, you don't pick one brick out of the whole wall that he built and say that makes the wall no good because that one brick is bad. Go back and you tell the mason, hey man, can you fix that brick? That brick is the one that would probably make the wall fall if it's not corrected, right? So let's be careful in our judgment of not only me as an artist, but all of us as people. One of the main things that fuels me as a hip hop artist is the miseducation towards our youth and the lack thereof. As a nation and a community, we do a great job of entertaining our children while allowing our children to entertain us. Yet, the stats will show that we do a very poor job of educating our children as well as edutaining our children. My definition of edutainment is to be able to use a skill or an entertainment skill to be able to educate at the same time of entertaining. Coined first by the first person I ever heard use it was a hip hop artist, is a hip hop artist by the name of KRS-One. He said it many years ago, but it was kind of breezed over and looked over. And the records will show, the stats will show, the statistics, will show that that was a very big mistake. Because as we can see, and as I will show, we do a great job of entertaining and a very poor job of edutaining and educating. What's more is that it's a trickle-down effect, what I found. Why? Because there are many adults who are parents who lack a certain educational background to be able to teach the children as well. So that means that we leave it up to the school system to teach our children what they need to know. And it's obviously not working, and obviously not the biggest of concerns. Let's review some stats and see where we're going wrong. On May 22, 2017, in an article by Brandon Gale on brandongale.com, it states about U.S. literacy rate and illiteracy statistics in the article that in the United States, the illiteracy rate has not changed in the past 10 years. That's a decade, folks. According to the U.S. Department of Education and National Institute of Literacy, the following statistics outline the state of literacy in the United States. 1. 32 million adults cannot read in the United States, which equals to 14% of the population. Number 2. 21% of adults read below a 5th grade level. Number 3. 19% of high school graduates cannot read. Number 4. 85% of juveniles who interact with the juvenile court system are considered functionally illiterate. Now, to really get a grasp on and an understanding on how high that percentage really is, we would have to know how many juveniles actually interact with our court system yearly. Then we can get to number 5, which is 70% of inmates in America's prisons cannot read above 4th grade level. It goes on to state about global literacy rates and illiteracy rates that illiteracy is not just confined to the borders of the United States. Worldwide, 774 million individuals cannot read. 66% of this group of illiterates are females. Says a lot for the women who are raising our children. Goes on to state, recent statistics show that 2/3 of students that are unable to read proficiently by the end of the 4th grade will end up either in jail or welfare. These individuals will also suffer a 78% chance of not catching up. The following facts below show the epidemic facing society with the high numbers of illiterate adults. Number 1, penal institutions show the inmates have a 16% chance of returning to prison if they receive literacy help, compared to 70% that receive no help. Then it goes on to talk about taxpayers' dollars, which that's not the point of my video here. Number 2, literacy is considered learned. Illiteracy is passed along by parents who cannot read or write. Number 3, 1 in 4 children grow up not knowing how to read. 43% of adults at considered level 1 literacy skills and live in poverty, compared to 4% at level 5. Number 5, 3 out of 4 food stamp recipients perform in the lowest 2 literacy levels. Number 6, 90% of welfare recipients are high school dropouts. Number 7, 16 to 19-year-old girls below poverty level are 6 times more likely to have children out of wedlock. That's serious. It goes on to further state about worldwide reading literacy. The following infographic takes a look at the statistics and facts about literacy in the United States and the world. It says, on average, the number of American adults that cannot read increased by 2.25 million individuals each year. Remember, this is a 10-year demographic, ladies and gentlemen. An average of 1 in every 5 adults are unable to calculate their weekly salary when told what their hourly rate of pay will be. That's serious. Lastly, it put the numbers together and crunched them up and said that 20% of high school seniors can be classified as functionally illiterate at the time they graduate. It says 70% of prisoners in state and federal systems can be classified as illiterate, and 85% again of juvenile offenders rates as functionally or marginally illiterate. And last but not least, again, 43% of those with the lowest literacy skills live in poverty. Now, am I 100% sure if the statistics that were just presented are 100% factual or not? No. But what I am sure of, and have been sure for quite a while, is that our youth are in peril, and that it starts from the beginning. So let's go back to the beginning. Because you may be asking, like, well, where does your music come in to help? Or what's the point of all of this? Let's rewind.
Have you ever stopped to wonder when we begin to respond to music? It actually begins in the womb. Human responsiveness to music begins in the womb. In the last trimester of fetal life, baby is able to hear external sound. That sound comes through for speech and for music, and they're able to detect the musical elements of both, so much so that they will respond differently to music and stories that they've heard previously than ones that are unfamiliar to them and novel. This implies a memory capacity for the musical elements of speech and for music. In the first years of life, those musical distinctions will allow the child to learn speech and language.
So what's the science behind my music, you may ask? Be a good question. What's the point of this video, you may ask? Good question. I don't come to talk about the problem too long. I come to bring not without bringing you a solution. Here's my science behind my music. Going back to the video that just went across where the lady stated that the first beginning stages actually start in the last trimester of the baby being in the womb. All right, so I created a song. In this case, I'm about to present to you an album. That song, that album has 100% clean lyrics, meaning there's zero reason why you would not allow your child, your aunt, your cousin, your niece, your nephew, your uncle, your grandparent, great-grandparent, and in this case, children, to not listen to the music. Now, not only am I using positive language, but I'm also using upward bound language, meaning that from the womb, from the cradle, the minute, the very second that that child can hear words, they're listening to words and language that is already built to improve their vocabulary and their understanding. Now, that's where you, the parent, come in. Because now, where you may not be able to have, where you might not have a high literacy rate, now you can listen to music and learn these words that you may be missing in your vocabulary, that you can go back and you can look over and you can study. So now as the child grows and the child is already developing these words from the first time they start to pronunciate words, now they can say, hey mom, what does this word mean? Hey dad, what does this word mean? Hey auntie, can you tell me what so-and-so means? So now we just turned regular entertainment into, you guessed it, edutainment. So now we have my whole philosophy behind family music. So I'm bringing hip hop back to the family. I'm bringing it back to the household. I'm bringing it back to the cookout. I'm bringing it back to the carpool. I'm bringing it back to the family trip, the family out into the park. I'm bringing it back to Sunday breakfast. I'm bringing it back to Saturday breakfast. I'm bringing it back to the park outing, to where we can just go out and just listen to some music and let the children play, and they're listening to this music. And might I add, it's good music. It's not just something thrown together, some mumbo jumbo. It's very good music, informative music, creative music. Something that you can sit back and as an adult and say, I can listen to that. Very creative, thoughtful, opinionated. Hey, we're entitled to that as artists. That's what we do. But you as the parent have the right to vet over the album, vet over the music, vet over the lyrics, and pick and pluck out what you choose to say, I don't want my child to hear that, which would, from what I know, would probably be a very small percentage. So I don't have a problem with that. And the most beautiful thing about it is we all grow together. I grow with you guys grow with me, and we become a team, we become a family. And that is the basis of what I'm trying to do. Or no, that's the basis of what I'm going to do. So with your help, we can do this together. So where would you go to get the music? Good question. Well, let me first tell you the most important part. Well, the next important part is that there's no set price on the album. The album is a donation, meaning you set the price for the album. That price goes from 1 cent to $1,000, $1,000 to $100,000 to $1 million. It's up to you. I leave it up to you because it was a gift from God to me to put it on my heart and my soul to do it and to give me the talent and skill to do it. So being that the album is entitled Selfless, meaning that it's something done with really no intention of return to come behind it. So you can't do something selfless and then turn around and put a price on it selfishly. So by the grace of God, I was told by a good friend who is a brother who's an angel now, why don't you let the people decide what they want to give and let them give what their heart desires. So what your heart desires is what you get. So where can you go to get it? Good question. The website is www.saviormusic.org. That's www.saviormusic.org. When you go there, you'll see an album that's entitled Selfless. When you look at the top left-hand corner of that album, you'll see a button that clicks that says Download Album. When you click that button, it will lead you right into the section for the donation. It's up to you. Give what your heart desires. So now, let's go back first. What's this channel all about? Well, this channel is just where you come to get some free music. Where you come to just say, hey man, just go through to check him out and see what he got going on. Because I have so much. God has filled me up with so much that I just want to be free enough to let you come through and check out our channel and see what's going on. And just stay abreast with a new video that I have or something new that I have to say. Most of the time it'll be from a beat that doesn't belong to me. So it's easy to give it away for free because the beat doesn't belong to me, but the music does. But your visit is just as important. So come through. Bring your children with you. Bring your family with you. Bring grandmas with you. Bring grandpa with you. Bring everybody with you. Bring the school teacher with you. Bring the principal. You know what I mean? Let me play in the school. Bring me to the school and say, hey, this AOC, Agent of Change, you're making positive music. Let it play throughout the schools. Hit me up. You got a show for me to do in your school? Let me know. I'll come. We can work something out. That's my aim, is to make a change. So I appreciate you all for stopping by. I know I took up a little bit of your time, but I think it was worth it at the end of the day. It took me time to put this together, but the time was worth it. And I appreciate your time and your energy. And please do stop by again. Hit that subscribe button. Join the team, join the family. Wherever it's at, up there, over there, down there, somewhere around here, you'll see a subscribe button or a join button. I think it's over here in the bottom corner of the banner. You'll see saviormusic.org. You can click right there. It'll take you straight over to the website. And you can go right in and download the album Selfless. And let's get started with making a change in our lives, in our community, and definitely our children. That's the point of why I'm here. God's gift, God bestowed a gift and mercy on me. It's only right. I'll bestow that gift and mercy back to the people who need it most, to you. So may God bless you all. May y'all let the babies in the womb hear it. Put the headphones on the belly, Mom Dukes. Put the headphones on the stomach. There's some water up in there, that beat floating on that water. And before you know it, that child come out speaking all the words that I'm using on my album, and you'll be saying, yep, he was right. But I'm glad that I let that guy play in the ears of my child, because now we have built a relationship and a bond based around education and what? Edutainment. That does not mean that entertainment has to go away. It's just, hey, we put that on the side right now, and we're more into doing more relevant things like dealing with the mentality and the hearts and the souls and the spirits of our children and our people, our adults and our grandparents, so that we can all come back together and be a better family. So thank you all for stopping by. This is Fadaji Khan, aka AOC, SaveYourMusic.org. Bids you all peace. Thanks for sharing this time with me. Gotta go, y'all. Next beat, next rhyme. Changing lives, one rhyme at a time. Resurrecting minds, one rhyme at a time. Let's fix the problem, y'all. Peace.